Thank you for watching this instructional video on basic skills for Oregon.gov authoring in the SharePoint environment. This video shows how to upload an image or document to your SharePoint website and addresses some common questions and issues experienced when considering or attempting to upload a document. The processes in this video will be very similar regardless of the version of Oregon.gov your site uses. First, be sure you have permissions in the site or subsite you are trying to work in. Navigate to the library where your new document will be placed. If you are uploading a text document of some kind, this may be the Documents library. If you're uploading an image, you might head for the Images library. Any library will work the same way as shown here. To get to your library, use Site Actions, View All Site Content, then click the name of the library your document is to be placed in. Once in the library, activate the Documents tab and either click the Upload Document button or use the drop menu to choose to upload multiple documents. The Upload Multiple Documents option may be unavailable in your environment. More on this later. Choose the appropriate option and click it. Click Choose Files. Browse your local environment to find the document to be uploaded. Click Open. Generally, leave the Overwrite Previous Versions option selected. Click OK. The File Properties window will be shown. Enter any properties required or desired. Click Save, and the document is now uploaded, and in most Documents and Images libraries, it is available to the public. You may now link to or use the document or image as needed in your site pages. Just to be sure, check to see if the file requires approval or publishing. Hover over the file name to see the checkbox to the left. Place a check in the box by clicking it. Activate the Document tab of the ribbon and look at the Publishing section of the ribbon. If any of these buttons are not grayed out, then some action is required. This can vary depending upon library settings. If the Publish button is active, it can be clicked to publish the document. If the Submit button is active, it can be clicked to begin a workflow or approval process. If the Approve Reject button becomes available, you may be able to approve the work yourself and follow the prompts to publish the document. Once any required processes are followed, your document is available to use as needed. If the Multiple Documents option is grayed out or is otherwise unavailable, the computer and software combination you are using, this is referred to as your local environment, is probably not configured to allow the feature to work. This is not a permissions issue. The feature is reliant upon the correct configuration of your local environment. The local environment must use a recent version of Internet Explorer in 32-bit. This feature will not work with other browsers or with the 64-bit versions of Internet Explorer. All of the Microsoft Office applications must be of the same generation. In other words, all of them from Office 2007 or all of them from 2010, etc. Mixing Office application generations will cause the feature not to work. JavaScript should be enabled, and ActiveX may need to be enabled. There is more information about this feature on the forums online. Your IT department can refer to those if need be to set up your environment to allow the multiple document upload feature to function. It is a good idea to consider a few things when uploading files. Does the article need to be on the web? If no, don't put it there. If yes, ask these questions. Is it relevant? Is it current? Is it mandated by law? If the answer to those is yes, Can the article be made into a web page rather than a file? Is it mostly or entirely text? If it has images, do they really need to be there? Is it meant to be downloaded and printed? And even if it is, in most cases, web pages that are mostly text print out just fine. If the article needs to be a document, try to find a way to make it a PDF. PDFs are almost universally viewable, where other formats require special viewers and possibly proprietary software. If a PDF is used, make sure to use the compression to shrink images, charts, and overall file size prior to uploading the document. If another format is required, avoid modern versions of Microsoft Office files. These are the X files, such as .docx or .xlsx. These files will cause public viewers to see a login prompt. Save these files as the former file types, such as .doc or .xls, to avoid such a problem. Naming your files should be a point of consideration. They should be descriptive, but short. Here are a few naming thoughts. It may not be necessary to include a date as part of the file name. SharePoint shows you the last date the file was modified, and the date can easily be included in the content of the file. Spaces can cause problems in some browsers. It's best to use underscores, hyphens, or camel case. Avoid special characters like arrow brackets, ampersands, semicolons, and the like. Some of these are used in URLs to spark a certain browser behavior and can result in the file rendering problems. Do not upload video files to SharePoint. SharePoint is not optimized for video streaming and will likely not give a satisfactory performance of your video content. Instead, use a video streaming service for your video content and link to it or embed it in your Oregon.gov pages. Audio files are okay if they are small. You always want to compress sound files. Sound files are best used as .wma or .mp3 formats. These can be very small for lengthy recordings. Either format can offer an hour or more of voice-recorded content in less than 25 megabytes. Be sure to compress using low sound quality settings, as the spoken voice in meetings suffers no degradation when compressed to 8-bit mono at 64K. There are free online applications that will do this compression for you quite nicely. Most readable file types will work as long as the Microsoft X files are avoided. Most executable files will not upload. Files over 50 megabytes may not upload. Check to see if the file needs to be checked in the library. Sometimes it's just that simple. Check the URL of the link to the file against the actual file location. Any difference will result in the 404 error. There are three possibilities. 1. The file uses an X file type. The more modern Microsoft Office formats don't get along well with SharePoint 2010. Save the file to a non-X file type like DOC or XLS, and the login prompt should go away. 2. The library requires publishing. Check to see if the document requires publishing. Publishing such a document will fix the issue. 3. The link to the document is hard-coded to the authoring environment. If the link goes to authoring, it will always ask for a login. Change the link to a relative URL if your document is in your site collection, or a production Oregon.gov URL if the document is in a different site collection. Thank you for watching this video on file uploads in Oregon.gov SharePoint websites.